reminder of the two sides once again. Two changes for Swansea from a 0-0 draw against Derby County. Ben Cabango drops to the bench along with Joel Latibaudiere. Ryan Bennett and Ethan Laird come back into the side. It is Hamer in goal, Manning, Norton and Bennett the back three, Bidwell, Grimes, Downs and Laird across midfield, with Smith and Patterson supporting Pirro. One change for Cardiff. Their fifth successive defeat was a 1-0 loss at home to Reading. Sean Morrison, the captain, returns. Sam Bowen is the player who drops out of the side. So it is effectively five central defenders strung across the back for Cardiff. Alex Smithies the goalkeeper. McGuinness, Flint, Morrison, Nelson and Brown, their back five. Pack and Rawls ahead of them, with Giles and Bakuna looking to provide some invention and creativity behind Kiefer Moore, who of course scored such an important goal for Wales in Estonia on Monday night live on TalkSport 2, but he's only scored once for Cardiff in the Championship so far this season. And it's Cardiff City who will get the game underway, but a pre-match huddle for Cardiff just delaying matters and maybe cranking up the tension even more. Russell Martin is already there on the edge of his tactical area at the age of 35, his first South Wales derby as a manager. Mick McCarthy, of course, maybe at the other end of his managerial career, or certainly approaching that. He's seen it all before. And this should be a fascinating clash of styles. Swansea looking to provide the guile, and Swansea up against Cardiff City, who will not lack an aerial threat as both sets of players take the knee before kick-off. One or two boos which are drowned out by the applause on all four sides of the stadium. And the first South Wales derby of the season is underway on the home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. Swansea in all white, defending the goal away to our right in the first half. And Carl Norton on the edge of their penalty area, and very quickly Cardiff looking to stroke the ball around and almost slow the occasion down, Chris.
Well, they have to, don't they? If they sit back and they allow Swans, they kind of get into their groove and play that football. So it's about going with intensity, that high press, really forcing the error, and seeing if Swansea have the call. That's a free kick.
Well, Kiefer Moore has been caught on this near side by Kyle Norton. Norton has come away from the challenge limping, but he caught Kiefer Moore.
Well, Kiefer Moore really chasing after it there. Kyle Norton took his first touch, and then Kiefer Moore just nicked it away from him. And then it's a lazy kind of clearance there from Norton. It's definitely free kick. He's lucky because Kiefer Moore's going in on goal there. You know, that's a scoring opportunity there.
Both these sides 18th and 19th in the table, locked together on 12 points, 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Of course, Swansea and Cardiff were both in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and Swansea were beaten by Brentford in the final last season.
Now look where that free kick is from. I know it's from a wide area, but 35-40 yards out. Look at the Swansea. Look how high the defensive line is. So again, if that's not going to drop, I'll be very surprised. But it puts so much pressure on Ben Hamer to come out and be commanding.
Pack is over the free kick, flighted high to the far post, looking for McGuinness, but it's scrambled clear, and it will be brought further clear on the far side. But very quickly the challenge comes in on Laird, and that's something which is appreciated by the Cardiff fans behind the goal away to our left. It was Nelson who came in with the challenge, and it's back with Ben Hamer, the Swansea goalkeeper, in all yellow, defending the goal away to our right-hand side. And he plays the ball out quickly under pressure from Kiefer Moore, and it's fairly clear that the message has come out from Mick McCarthy that every time Swansea try and play the ball out, the press will be as high as Swansea can possibly manage.
No, it has to be. I remember I came here with Burnley, and we were 1-0 down. We hadn't touched the ball for the first 25 minutes. So when the goalkeeper had the ball, we just went man for man, forced them to kick it, and then that's when we came into the match. We won all the second balls and grew into the match itself. It's a must. Fantastic ball down the right-hand side.
Now Laird coming forward down the right-hand side for Swansea. Has support from Smith. Looks to go beyond Nelson. He goes down inside the penalty area. James Livington, the referee, has a long look, and in the end, on the advice of the assistant on the far side, Nigel Lugg gives a corner.
No, you're saying the advice of the assistant. I'm looking at the assistant. The referee was looking at him. He just stood there with his flag down, just looking at the referee. He left them to it there, and I've just got to say, I think it's a very timely challenge. It is. He has got the ball there, Curtis Nelson. But what I will say is that when you go to ground in the box, you are giving the referee a decision to make. The linesman did not help there whatsoever, and the referee, I think, never got sucked into the sound the Swansea fans made there.
3 minutes played. The corner is worked short, high towards the far post, where it's claimed by Alex Smithies, the Cardiff goalkeeper, who returned to this side for the defeat against Reading. Dylan Phillips, who had been the number one in the opening 10 games of the season, was finally left out after what was a difficult evening for him in a 4-0 loss at home to West Brom, although he wasn't alone in that. And now Kiefer Moore gets another free kick, pushed in the back by Downs. And as we saw and heard on TalkSport 2 on Monday night, Kiefer Moore found problems conceding free kicks against Estonia, but back in the Championship it's a very different story so far. And Swansea just slowing down the free kick. Patterson is right in front of Marlon Pack, but he eventually retreats. Pack, one of a number of Cardiff players sporting the top knot, and he takes the free kick quickly, and he finds Kiefer Moore inside the area, right hand side, driven low across the area, and eventually it's scraped away by Laird at the far post. And Swansea didn't really react to that set piece, and they were grateful that the cross from Moore was behind all the on-rushing Cardiff players.
Well, it was a fantastic free kick, wasn't it, Marlon Pack? Great little bit of quality. The weight of pass was outstanding. What I will say, Kiefer Moore, fantastic run. I thought he could either get a shot away or take it, put it across the face of goal a little bit earlier. He took a touch, allowed the defender. He still got it across there, and like you say, was it Laird, wasn't it? Just got a toe poke clearance there, but that was a threat. There was about 3-4 bodies in coming onto that 6-yard area for Cardiff there.
5 minutes played, 0-0 on TalkSport 2 at the Swansea.com stadium. A beautiful autumnal lunchtime here in southwest Wales. Blue sky and puffy white clouds overhead. The temperature is very mild as well for this time of year, as Downs, the former Ipswich player, works it wide to the far side, and Ryan Manning, who was a teammate of his manager Russell Martin during numerous East Anglian derbies for Norwich against Ipswich, and on a number of occasions Mick McCarthy was in the opposition dugout. Now Manning with a long ball forward wide to the far side. He was looking for the width of Ethan Laird, but it's headed away, and it will be a throw-in to Swansea. Taken quickly, Laird, who is on loan from Manchester United but worked with Russell Martin last season at MK Dons. Now Bidwell, poor ball in field, although Bidwell was caught by McGuinness, and it will be a free kick to Swansea, and that was a bit of a let-off. Yeah,
it was. I've got to say, I've been very impressed. Ethan Laird and Jake Bidwell, they're so high, so expansive, that back five is basically a flat back five. Understand that. What that does for Cardiff, Bacuna, Giles, Rolls have to work very hard in that central area. You have to make sure, because like you say, Swansea are good with the ball. I would like to see the likes of Brown and McGuinness for Cardiff pushing on a little bit and helping those midfield three when it's on to do it. I understand it when Swansea are in good possession that they are in a flat back five, but can they get advanced as well? But like you say, 5 centre backs, it is a hard ask.
Now Bacuna on the edge of the penalty area finds Kiefer Moore, threads it through inside the penalty area, and the shot is blocked. It was a great chance for Ryan Giles. Swansea are looking for the offside flag, but it never came, and it's Ben Hamer who makes a save when Giles should have scored.
Massive chance, 100% should have scored. I'm thinking Kiefer Moore's going to get the shot away with the left. Great little pass with outside to the right. Giles is onside, got to be in the back of the net.
Giles with the corner, flicked away by Ryan Manning towards this near side, returned by Flint high into the area, fisted away by Hamer this time, brought down by Grimes on the edge of the area, but he used his hand, and it's a free kick for Cardiff, a couple of yards outside the penalty area, left of centre.
Well, the referee, James Livington, position was outstanding. You know, it did come off the hand. Sometimes they're not given. He's onside. Giles there has to be in the back of the net. He has to just pick a corner there. It's a great way to pass with outside the right foot from Kiefer Moore. Had a lot of time, knows exactly where the goal is. Straight at the goalkeeper. It's an easy one for Ben Hamer. I was impressed there, that ball came back across. Ben Hamer came out with a strong punch as well. That's what's needed today. But the referee's spot on giving that one. I think it is a handball in that situation, and it did give him the advantage.
Rawls and Pack are over the free kick. Aidan Flint is standing right in front of Ben Hamer, just blocking his view as he tries to organise his wall. Flint scored the winning goal here for Cardiff last season when, of course, there were no fans in the ground. Rawls curls in the free kick, and it's a comfortable save for Hamer at the near post, and he looked for the quick release, and then once again Aidan Flint just stepped across his path and prevented that. And there is a bit of needle already around the technical areas with 9 minutes played here on TalkSport 2, 0-0 at the Cardiff.com Stadium in the South Wales derby. As Laird comes forward now for Swansea on the far side. The cross is deflected. Pirro with the shot, it's blocked, and then it's hooked away inside the 6-yard area by Flint. Quickly returned towards Smith, and then Bennett under pressure has to go all the way back to the halfway line, and Norton. But both sides with good chances in the opening 9 minutes here. Patterson for Swansea, just in front of us on this near side there left.
Just a little bit slow, you know, the passing there from Swansea. You look at Russell Martin, he's wanting it to come out straight to Jake Bidwell from that switch of play, but it's going through the likes of Grimes, it's going through Downs. Missed those out, really moved Cardiff around, you know, and I think that from now that should go straight to Bidwell. He's been expansive enough from that from Downs, who's basically in the right back position. He has that quality to play that pass, but that's how you're going to move Cardiff out of these positions and create that space and bound.
Marlon Pack tries to loft it wide to the left hand side of Ryan Giles, and it's over his head, and it will be a throw-in to Swansea on the far side. 2 wins, 5 draws and 4 defeats so far this season for Russell Martin's team. A couple of 1-0 wins over Bristol City and Huddersfield, and 4 of those 5 draws have been 0-0. As for Cardiff, 3 wins, 2 draws and 6 defeats. 5 in a row. They've dropped from 3rd to 20th in the table. The only victory in their last 7, a 2-1 success at Nottingham Forest just before Chris Hughton was sacked after a 4-match unbeaten run to start the season. And they did lose 5 in a row during the previous campaign. Neil Harris was sacked, Mick McCarthy came in, and very quickly there was an 11-match unbeaten run which propelled Cardiff up the table, and he was given a 2-year contract in March. But now he knows he's under pressure, but he said that is not coming from those at the top of the club, but he appreciates that another defeat here would add fuel to the fire, in his words. And look, we both work with Mick in various capacities. He's coached you, he's been a co-commentator with me. I love the guy, but there is no doubt if he loses here today, no one would be surprised if he does get the sack.
He knows the game, he's been around long enough. What I will say, Nigel, is that the players won't feel that by how he conducts himself. You know, that he's under a lot of pressure, but he'll still be the same Mick McCarthy, that fantastic coach, man manager. So again, it's down to the players. They'll know exactly the position the manager's in. They love playing for him. Go out there and show that and get the result.
11 minutes played on TalkSport 2, 0-0. And it wouldn't be a huge surprise if there weren't too many goals here today. 5 of the previous 8 have finished 1-0 to either team. Swansea did win 2-0 at the Cardiff City Stadium last season. Well, Jamal Lowe scored both of the goals, but he was one of the players sold during the close season. Connor Roberts another. Andre Ayew's contract eventually wound down, and they managed to get his hefty wages off the payroll. But Swansea are a club who continue to live within their means, but at the same time there has to be maybe an acceptance now that playoff challenges may not be in the offing for the next couple of years in the short term. Of course, Steve Cooper twice took them into the playoffs, but Swansea fans, it seems, or certainly some of them, seem happier now with the style of play, and if it doesn't involve them at the top of the table, they'll maybe live with that for a time.
No, I don't quite understand that myself personally. You think Cooper, semi-final one year, the final the next, you want to have the support. I know it was probably a divided opinion on that brand of football. They weren't really too impressed with what they were seeing, but it was winning games, it was putting points on the board, it was up there being competitive at the right side of the table. Understand that that's not been the Swans' way, but it has only been that way under the likes of Martinez, Brendan Rodgers for 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden they've kind of shied away from that. So again, it's a result business, Nigel. So that brand of football for me, I understand what the fans want to see, they want to be entertained, but it's not the be all and end all. But I understand Russell Martin's been brought in for that very fact with his philosophy and identity.
Sean Morrison is winding up for a long throw on this near side. His long hair tied back into a ponytail. Marlon Pack comes short. Morrison, though, wings it high into the penalty area, and it's jabbed away by Grimes. Smith will chase on the far side, but a good challenge from Curtis Nelson, lunging in, winning the ball, and it will be a throw into Swansea on the far side. Nearly 14 minutes played. 0-0. This only the 61st meeting between these two clubs in the league. Of course, they've been involved in numerous Welsh Cup ties down the years. And the most recent meetings came after 20 years apart, when Swansea had their rise up the divisions. Cardiff also had a spell in the Premier League as well. And there have been only 5 home wins in the most recent 12 meetings. And Cardiff have not been as low in the football pyramid as they are now. In fact, neither side has. Heading into a South Wales derby since 1999, which just tells you how things have maybe recently gone sour for both teams, but a victory here today could really transform the mood on and off the field, heading into some big games coming up over the next few weeks. West Brom are here live on TalkSport 2 on Wednesday. Tough game as well for Cardiff when they travel to Fulham. Now Pirro, the young Dutchman, twisting and turning for Cardiff on this near side, the left. An opportunity to deliver the cross, which just skims the eyebrows of Manning, and it's cleared away by Cardiff, and they will try and break now. Kiefer Moore laying it into the path of Ryan Giles down the left hand side. Giles with the early cross into the penalty area. Norton, though, stepping in before Moore is able to sweep the ball away. It's a throw into Cardiff on the far side.
Well, that's where you want just a little bit more quality, isn't it, when Brown, just kind of take that touch. Can you beat the first man? It's an easy one for Kyle Norton to kind of defend there. Kiefer Moore's kind of floated to the back area, so you beat that first man. There was no pressure on Brown there. So again, just the quality across. Kiefer Moore, he's working very hard without the ball, but if you give him the right service, he can be unplayable, Nigel.
And Giles again, on loan from Wolves, only 21 years of age. He was in the Championship last season at both Coventry and Rotherham. And I think he really impressed in particular during his time with Coventry. He does have that ability to go beyond a man, and also has good delivery from the left-hand side, which can give a team natural balance. A long throw downfield for Cardiff from Morrison. It's hooked forward by McGuinness, the former Arsenal youngster, now Bakuna. And the ball spending plenty of time in the air at the moment before there is a late challenge. Well, it seemed to be a late challenge on Downs from Laird, but nothing was given. Now Rawls tries a curling shot from the edge of the penalty area, which takes a deflection off Bennett and goes behind. And that was a typical local derby challenge there between Rawls and Downs, and the referee allowed it to go.
Yeah, it's a free kick all day long. I think both are genuinely going for the ball. Downs has got there first. Rawls is already committed, hasn't he? So it's one of them. I'd say Rawls actually takes more of the hit there, even though it's a free kick to Downs.
The corner into the area is nodded down by Flint, and some way wide, and it will be a goal kick. 17 minutes played, 0-0 here on TalkSport 2, the South Wales derby. And for all of the fallout from today's game and all the action from this weekend's football in the EFL, join Dan Wendell for the EFL show here on TalkSport 2, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Swansea just looking to probe here and work the ball around and try and work Swansea around, but at the moment Swansea are an immovable object. They are not being dragged into the sort of game that possibly Swansea want them to play. And now the ball forward from Manning is cut out by McGuinness, and Kiefer Moore is onside on this near side down the left. Giles makes the run into the penalty area. Moore just holding the ball up back towards McGuinness again. Now 3 forward in this attack, including Marlon Pack. Pack though just delays on the ball, but it's wide towards McGuinness, who has the opportunity to play the cross in, which is deflected off Patterson onto the chest of Grimes, and it's cleared away by Swansea again. Yeah, well, you can see the body language of Kiefer Moore there. He's on his own. I think he should go at Norton there one-on-one, but he's waiting for support. So obviously McGuinness gets up there, and I think again Kiefer Moore's then broke his neck to get in the box. It doesn't come in. Comes back to Marlon Pack, which, to be fair, I don't think he had the big switch on. He goes back to McGuinness. Has to be a better cross. Has to be a better cross, because it's been deflected, and I have to say Grimes just takes it on the chest, and Kiefer Moore, you can just see the heads. Look, has to be better service to the big man there. Manning back towards Norton for Swansea. And now Downs again, who had the reputation for being quite a feisty character during his time with Ipswich, so he'll be well suited to this sort of atmosphere. And he's challenged by Pack, who was snapping away at his heels, and eventually the free kick has been given to Swansea on the halfway line. Nigel, it's very interesting, Ryan Bennett and Kyle Norton, Downs goes in between them, so they split, and it's Ryan Manning that has the freedom, that green light to bomb forward and try and get forward. He bounced once off of Grimes, and Russell Martin was bombing to him to keep on going, receive that pass about the 30-yard area from the Cardiff goal, so he has that freedom down that left-hand side to move. More so Norton and Bennett will probably sit with Downs protecting him a little bit. Now Patterson on this near side, strong challenge coming in again from Morrison, but he won the ball. It's flicked on by Bakuna, infield looking for Moore. Moore catches Downs, and this time a free kick is given to Swansea midway inside the Cardiff half. Well, I'm looking at that, and I don't think it's a free kick. Both genuinely go for the ball. I think Kiefer Moore, it's a block actually on the ball, and I think it's Grimes goes over the ball and the challenge there. It's given. Kiefer Moore didn't really react to it, just kind of had a look to the sky, but there wasn't much in it for me there, Nigel. Look at that, 1-1 again. It's been given away by Swansea, and here is Kiefer Moore, found by Ryan Giles, breaking into the penalty area. Left foot shot from him is straight at Hamer, and once again Swansea playing that high line. And if Kiefer Moore makes the run from inside his own half, he's always going to be okay. He can't be that high. They can't be that high. Kyle Norton is nowhere near Kiefer Moore, and they're in the Cardiff half. He cannot be offside. If that's anyone that's got a little bit more legs, and to be fair, the big man can move as well. But again, it's a one-on-one situation, and Kyle Norton, because of pace, can get back in cover there. But again, Kiefer Moore took it onto his left, never really got anything behind the shot, never really kind of troubled Ben Hamer there. But again, if you see that information should be coming on, or the players themselves saying that third man run, that blind run, when in good possession Cardiff, Kiefer Moore drags Norton away, but then there's a runner coming from a midfield area that's making that too high. The line's too high from Swansea. And there is a problem for Ryan Bennett, who will receive some treatment on the far side, so that's the cue for both sets of players to meander towards the technical areas and have some liquid and some words from their managers. Don't forget, coming up following our commentary here today, we are live to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for NFL action in London once again, and it will be the Dolphins against the Jaguars. Will be heading across to the stadium at half-time to look ahead to that game. Also on Tuesday, here on TalkSport 2, 5:45, Club Brugge against Manchester City in the Champions League, with Ian Danter and Danny Mills, and Joe Shannon and Chris will be at the Bet365 for Stoke against Bournemouth, also on TalkSport 2 at 7:45. And over on Talk Sport, Adrian Durham will bring you Atletico Madrid against Liverpool with Sam Matterface and Andy Townsend. Then on Wednesday, very early start, 3:30, Spartak Moscow against Leicester in the Europa League with James Filden and David Connolly. Adrian Durham will be around the grounds from 6 on Talk Sport 2, live from Old Trafford, Manchester United against Atalanta. And there'll be commentary here of Swansea against West Brom with Alex Crook and Paul Parker. And then on Thursday, the Europa Conference League at 5:45, Alex and Matt Holland will bring you Vitesse against Tottenham. And then live from Ibrox at 8 o'clock, Andy Barr and Charlie Adam will be the commentary team for Rangers against Bromby. And then next Saturday, game day on Talk Sport, Chelsea against Norwich at 12:30, Brighton against Manchester City at 5:30. And we will also have Premier League commentary here on Talk Sport 2 at 3 o'clock. The game is back underway. Ryan Manning plays it forward towards Patterson, who nutmegs Morrison. Morrison just stays where he is. And it's a body check which will result in a free kick on the halfway line for Swansea.
Yeah, fantastic bit of skill there from Jamie Patterson. You know, Morrison had committed, little one through the legs, and I've got to say, James Livingston, the referee, could very easily bring a yellow card out there, but again, I think he's managing the game very, very well, isn't he? You know, I think it's intensity, there's a few challenges going in, but he's talking with the players, and that's what you want from the officials.
Now another throw-in's been given to Swansea when they were looking for a free kick on the far side. Flynn Downs was the player who was caught by Rawls, and there was just an undercurrent developing in this game, and the atmosphere has been unrelenting off the field. The Swansea fans are hemmed in next to the Cardiff fans behind the goal away to our left, but it's all verbal so far. There is a fairly thick blue line of policemen on both sides of the Swansea supporters behind that goal. And Swansea try and build on the far side, and Bennett will go all the way back to Ben Hamer once again. And I think tactically Cardiff are on top at the moment. They are stopping Swansea from doing what they want to do.
Yeah, they are. You know, I think I've got to say McGuinness and Brown are working really hard in those kind of wing-back, defensive kind of full-back areas, because Swansea are trying to... It's another naughty challenger from Bakuna.
Yeah, Bakuna on Patterson, and the cards will be out here, and it's the first yellow card of the day for Leandro Bakuna.
Yeah, and I think the referee, he had to come out there. Bakuna just gave him the little wave. You know what, it's a controlled challenge. He's a little bit late. Patterson gets there first. You know, in fact, I've looked at it on the monitor. Catches him very high, definite yellow card. You know, but yeah, the referee has positioned very well again. I think he got that one spot on. But as I was saying earlier, yeah, they're trying to get Laird and Bidwell into the match as often as possible. They're not seeing a lot of it, and that's just down to the likes of how hard McGuinness and Brown are working to nullify that threat.
Now Bidwell on this near side, back to Manning, and Grimes has the opportunity to turn in field. Bennett is also forward. Corey Smith, who was involved in local derbies against both of these sides for Bristol City, and the crossing from Laird on the right is overhit, and Bakuna will clear away and find Kiefer Moore.
On his own, by the way. That's all he can do. You know, fantastic ball from Bakuna, great touch from Kiefer Moore. He allows Cardiff to get up the pitch, but he is isolated. So it's limited him. It's Bakuna and Rawls that you would want Giles to go up and actually get there and support and be around them. But at the minute they're defending well, and understand that's part and parcel of the game. But when they do get the ball, it's so important that they get that support up to Kiefer Moore, because he will bring players in. He can make the ball stick. But at the minute, very, very isolated.
Bidwell back to another former Queen's Park Rangers player, Manning, down the Swansea left-hand side. Now Norton finding Grimes again. And Bidwell will head down the left and try and keep the ball in play. The ball actually hits the corner flag, which helps him out. McGuinness, though, is now penned in as he does well to clear down the line. Bakuna on a yellow card steps out of the challenge with Bidwell, and as a result Cardiff win it back. Rawls with a long ball forward looking for Giles down the left hand side, and it's gathered by Hamer. We welcome listeners from TalkSport to the Swansea.com stadium. 27 minutes played, Swansea 0, Cardiff 0. The best chance of the game so far falling to Cardiff City. Kiefer Moore playing in, Ryan Giles clean through down the left hand side, but Ben Hamer did well to make the save. And Chris Owelamo, Swansea playing a very high line, and every time Cardiff play the ball long they look dangerous as a result.
Yeah, they are. I think Cardiff very compact without the ball, very hard to beat down, but as soon as they get possession, because the high line of Swansea, it's that straight ball that's causing Swansea problems nearly every time Cardiff get the ball. But like you say, at the minute Kiefer Moore very much isolated, but he's making it stick. He's allowing Cardiff to get up the pitch.
Led now with a break into the penalty area for Swansea down the right hand side. A low cross in is gathered by Alex Smithies at the near post.
Yeah, Ethan Laird, I think he's been Swansea's player of the match so far. Every time he gets it, he's direct, he's taking his man on. Here we go again.
Here is Patterson now down the left hand side for Swansea. Low cross into the penalty, Pirot with a shot, blocked at the near post by Smithies. An excellent save going down low. He must have seen it late, but the pressure continues. Here is Manning now on this near side, infield towards Patterson, right foot shot from him. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Jamie Patterson, in off the post, and Swansea City take the lead in the South Wales derby. Patterson given the room to fire it with real power from the edge of the penalty area, in off both posts, and it's Swansea 1, Cardiff 0.
What a fantastic finish that was. He's 27 yards away from goal. He gets time to turn, fantastic touch. He gets so much power on it, the accuracy. Alex Smithies is at full stretch, hits the right hand the goalkeeper's right hand post, hits the left hand post in the back of the net. What a finish that is. And they threatened earlier, a little bit of skill from Jamie Patterson, comes along, Puru gets to it first, great save at the near post from Smithies there. It comes back, they couldn't really clear the area, but what a finish that is from Patterson. Outstanding strike.
Commentary continues on TalkSport 2. It is Swansea 1, Cardiff 0. And Jamie Patterson celebrated by running behind that goal away to our left-hand side, which irritated a number of the Cardiff supporters, but they'll also be very disappointed with the manner of the defending, having had the let-off when the save was made by Smithies. He had so much room.
Yeah, you know what, I know he's distance from goal, but you can't allow him to turn because he has that quality, obviously to shoot, but to pass that, and I just feel that you have to get tighter to a player of Patterson's quality there. Fantastic, he found that little pocket, central to goal as well, but he's still got a lot of work to do. He struck it ever so well there, Nigel, and like you say, Smithies is fantastic save earlier. He was at full stretch, in off both posts there, outstanding finish, but you can't give him, and I've got to say, it's the first time they've allowed any Swansea player that space and time in that defensive third.
Well, both teams haven't scored in this game since 2009. One goal has usually been enough for either side. That was the case last season. And in the previous game here with fans, Swansea won by a goal to nil when Ben Wilmot, who was on loan from Watford, scored the only goal. But it's Jamie Patterson with his 4th goal of the season, and Swansea have the lead here on TalkSport 2 with half an hour played. And if anything, slightly against the run of play, because Swansea were not creating too much. Then there was just that ball into the penalty area down the left-hand side. The initial save was made by Smithies, but he had no chance with the second shot from Patterson.
And this is a real test of character, isn't it, for Cardiff? The form that they've been in, they've got to kind of fight to get back into this match. Swansea that have been playing with that identity, that brand of football, against her on the play. Nigel, we have to say the goal came, but they have individuals, they have that quality that they can turn the game on its head. But Cardiff now, they have to dig deep, they have to reach somewhere and get something, a bit of quality. They're still in a match, they're still very much in it, but they just have to make sure that Swansea don't get ahead of themselves and start to dominate and put them on the back foot. They'll get deeper and deeper. As organised as they are, they can't just defend. They have to have that quality in the attacking areas as well.
Well, Russell Martin looks a satisfied man at the moment, but he knows there is a long way to go in this game, and he has been adamant about the way his team will try and play, and they won't change, and they will try and work their way through problems. And a number of the Swansea fans have bought into that. They are keen to go back to the so-called Swansea way employed by Roberto Martinez, Brendan Rodgers and Michael Laudrup. There was a feeling that in terms of the aesthetics that Swansea maybe lost their way for a few years. And although Steve Cooper brought a measure of success here, a number of fans weren't too happy about the way he did it. It was based on a very solid defence with Mark Gurhey and Ben Cabango, very good as a pair. Neither involved today, of course. Gurhey went back to Chelsea and then was sold on to Crystal Palace, and Ben Cabango was on the bench here today. Kiefer Moore working hard, wins a throw-in for Cardiff on the far side with 12 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. Swansea leading by a goal to nil. And Cardiff staring 6 successive defeats firmly in the face. And there was a feeling after the 1-0 defeat here 2 years ago that could have been the end for Neil Warnock, and he did last for a couple of more weeks, and it was a defeat at home to Bristol City which eventually led to his departure. But Cardiff City, of course, did so well with Neil Warnock a relatively short time ago, and Mick McCarthy had a similar level of success. As a cross into the penalty area from Giles is cleared away, and then Smith was caught by Pack on the edge of the box, and it will be a free kick for Swansea City.
Nigel, the importance of taking 3 points from a game like this, you have to understand what it does to the group of players, you know, the fans, that, you know, there's so much pride, there's so much confidence that you take. It can be the catalyst that kicks either team on if they can get the result here today. So yeah, Russell Martin's speaking a lot about the support's been there because the fans can see what he's trying to do, but it has to bring success, it has to bring wins, and if he gets a win against Cardiff, then a lot of fans will buy into it even more so.
And having seen the replay of the celebrations, I have to point out that Jamie Patterson was performing an act which may well have been viewed as antagonistic, so we will have to see if that is revisited in the aftermath of this game. Here is Cabango. Infield again towards Patterson. Now Norton again. And Patterson, the goal scorer, on the halfway line. And if it remains like this, he will be lauded in Swansea, irrespective of anything else he does in his career here. Long downfield from Hamer this time, looking for Pirro, who was denied his first goal in the South Wales derby by an excellent save from Smithies just before Patterson did find the back of the net. Now Bidwell with a low cross into the penalty area on this near side. And McGuinness was rather isolated there, and it was Flint who had to slide in and put the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, like you say, I think I've got to say McGuinness is just out of position. He's in no man's land there. You can see Flint talking to him. He has to make a decision. He has to go tight or he goes in behind and cover, but Flint had to be there because the ball was coming into Pirro there, who had made a fantastic run central.
Corners work short on this near side towards Grimes. 9 minutes to play in the first half. 1-0 to Swansea. Crossed high towards the far post, and it's claimed by Smithies. A good leap inside the 6-yard box. And Swansea still lead here by a goal to nil. And Russell Martin has taken on a job which has not had huge longevity in recent times, of course. Very few jobs do in the Championship, as Kiefer Moore has been fouled by Downs, and it will be a free kick for Swansea midway inside Cardiff midway inside the Swansea half.
Well, I'm looking at that there, Nigel, and Kiefer Moore's they're both holding each other, but I'm trying to say, I think Downs is saying no, it should be a yellow card for Downs. He's trying to say that Kiefer Moore's holding on to him and then falling there, but again, it's good marking from Downs, but it's definitely a free kick and probably should be a yellow there.
Russell Martin is the 10th Swansea manager in the last decade, and of course he only took over 6 days before the start of the season when Steve Cooper took the pre-season when it was clear he was about to leave, and then of course he did leave, and now he's doing a good job at Nottingham Forest. Steve Cooper was here for just over 2 years, which was the longest spell as a Swansea manager since Roberto Martinez, when this team arrived at what was then the Liberty Stadium. Pack is over the free kick for Cardiff, and a set piece could be their best route towards an equaliser. Wide to Giles down the right, an in-swinging cross from him all the way into the arms of Ben Hayman.
I don't mind that ball. I don't mind that ball from Giles, Nigel, because he's cut into his left, and that's where you're wanting a couple of the Cardiff players to just have that run across the path of the ball for Ben Hayman. You know, just a little touch. Sometimes not even a touch needed. Just better, very Marlon Pack. You know, they've intercepted the ball very, very well. It's basically 4 against 4. He's just got to put the ball through and behind for Kiefer Moore there.
Now Bidwell on this near side. Back to Manning. And Carl Norton has Flynn Downs very close to him, just in front of the defensive unit for Swansea City, as they move forward in all white once again on what is a grey, mild afternoon now in southwest Wales. These two cities around 40 miles apart, separated by a stretch of the M4. And there is some lovely coastline. The Mumble's not too far from here, but it's a rather visceral atmosphere inside this stadium at the moment. Now Manning once again goes back towards Downs. It could prove to be a very good signing for Swansea, give them the necessary bite in midfield. And he will be well known to Mick McCarthy following his time at Ipswich. Manning back towards Downs again.
He just always wants the ball, Nigel. You know, no matter how tight it is, you know, everything goes through him. He's comfortable. You know, he reads the game very, very
Basically,
well.
he's the successor for Matt Grimes, but Matt Grimes hasn't been sold yet.
Well, and that's the way to the recruit, isn't it? You know, I think Matt Grimes is pivotal to the way that Russell Martin wants Swansea to play. But if that opportunity comes for Grimes to go, then Downs is a fantastic replacement. But at the minute, they've got a fantastic relationship together. Both very, very good technical players that can do it all. They can tackle. They're very mobile. They cover the distance. But both fantastic on the ball.
Olivier Uncham, the former Celtic player, is back on the bench today following injury, but there is no sign of Michael Obafemi, the former Southampton player who has also been out of the side in recent weeks. Grimes lays it back towards Downs, and we have 5 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. We'll be live to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium during half-time to hear from our team preparing for the NFL commentary, the Miami Dolphins against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our coverage starts at 2 o'clock following this game. As Hamer clears long downfield again. McGuinness steps in to head the ball clear following a brief wrestling bout with Bidwell. Now Patterson has Bidwell in support to the left, but Patterson goes in field. It breaks back towards Bidwell. The early cross into the area brought down well by Pirro, but the flag is up for offside against Bidwell.
Yeah, he definitely was, Bidwell. It was a tight one there, because Pirro definitely wasn't great first touch from Pirro as well. But Patterson, you know, you see the confidence. He's driving it, his man. He's got 3 Cardiff players in front of him, Pack, Flint and Morrison there, and he still tries to go through the 3. If anything, I think the argument might be it was a challenge that actually put the ball to Jake Bidwell, so that's the possibility that he wasn't offside. But I like how direct Patterson is, very, very confident at the minute.
Cleared downfield by Alex Smithies once again, and now the flag is raised for offside against Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, can't be offside there. I know he's frustrated at the minute. He's trying to stretch the pitch, and this is when the high line of Swansea it's a positive, because it makes it very, very difficult from a live ball. So again, he's just got to make that timing better. He reads the ball very well. So as soon as the ball leaves the feet of Smithies, get grounded, get planted, read the line of the ball, and then it's all then down to the players that's going to come up and support the player that's going in behind Keeper Moore there, but he should not be offside there.
Hamer, 15 yards outside his penalty area for Swansea, plays a long ball downfield, and McGuinness seems to shove Manning to the ground, and the referee allowed play to continue. And James Linnington has allowed one or two challenges to go here. And I'm not sure whether Manning was initially holding McGuinness. We were following the ball, but there was no doubt that McGuinness got hold of him and just threw him to the ground.
Yeah, the referee's seen it also. I can only imagine that the referee is clocked at early doors, and they were both at it, but he has just basically grabbed him by both shoulders and threw him to the ground there. McGuinness on, I think it was actually Bidwell there, wasn't it?
Well, it was a bizarre challenge, and we've seen a couple of those let go by the referee, who has done his best to allow the game to flow, and he's maybe given licence for one or two challenges which would have been penalised higher up. And we have 2 minutes of normal time to play in the first half here, with Swansea leading by a goal to nil, scored by Jamie Patterson. Norton forward towards Patterson, and it's laid into the path of Bennett, who plays it back to Downs. And now Smith back towards Downs again, and Swansea happy to play the game at walking pace, leading by a goal to nil. There's no real press from Cardiff. It comes belatedly from Moore, and it's worked back towards Ben Hamer.
Well, Moore can't do that on his own. Swansea, when it's Downs and Bennett and Norton just keeping the ball at the defensive line have to step up.
Excellent challenge on the far side from Brown to stop Pirro from breaking through, and then Marlon Pat on the ground grabs hold of the ball to prevent a break downfield from Downs. Downs is now squaring up to Nelson. Nelson turns his back on him. He's not interested in any more acrimony. And players from both sides just beginning to mill around the referee. And it will be interesting to see what he does here. He could book Marlon Pack for deliberate handball, but what does he do to Flynn Downs for the subsequent reaction?
I don't think he's seen it. He's not even going to talk to Flynn Downs. And to be fair, Marlon Pack should get a yellow card, but he's not. I think the referee...
Deliberate handball?
Yeah, it was deliberate in stopping Grimes from getting away there. But like you say, I think the referee is... He's for me, I think it's fantastic refereeing. Again, this game so heated, there is going to be temperament, there is going to be players getting into faces, but the yellow card has come out for the Bacuna challenge, and that was probably the worst challenge of the day.
Now Downs on the far side, quickly closed down by Giles, and Cardiff need to get the ball to Ryan Giles a lot more.
Yeah, but Cardiff need to make this game dirty. They need to make it, try and make it a messy game, get in the faces, because at the minute Swansea are dictating the tempo. There's no press when the Swansea back three, and obviously Downs drops in there, but there's no pressure on them. They're just slowing it down. Bennett and Downs will just pass it between them a couple of metres apart. That has to be from the back. If it's Morrison saying, right, we have to step up now, that's our opportunity to step up, and it allows the front four, the front five, to go and press and put pressure on Swansea. For me, as soon as Ben Hamer has the ball, I'd go man for man and say, come on then, what are you going to do? If they don't play out, then they're going to kick it. Then Cardiff go and win the ball and play from the second balls then.
And we're into a minimum of 2 added minutes here at the Swansea.com Stadium. Chris Owellamo and Nigel Adderley with the commentary on the South Wales derby, where it's another long throw for Cardiff on the far side, which Marlon Pack is using all of the available room to take. Also wipes the ball on his blue Cardiff shirt and then hurls it long into the penalty area. Bennett went down, and then there seemed to be some afters between Morrison and Bidwell on the far side, but in the end it's another throw in for Cardiff, and it's taken again towards Morrison, and it's headed behind, and it will be a corner to Cardiff right at the end of the first half. The header from Bidwell.
Again there, it was just pressure defending. I've got to say, fantastic defending there from the long throw. Morrison he's got 3 players on him there, and it's just came off one of them and went out for a corner. But again, you're looking at your goalkeeper here, Ben Hamer. Can you come out, be commanded, be dominant, have to be switched on, do not concede from this corner.
Corner kick, and outswinger from Giles, flicked on by Moore, and then volley clear at the far post by Manning up towards the halfway line. It's headed back in field by Bakuna, and now there could be pressure on Cardiff here. A long ball over the top. Laird will chase. Brown does well to get back and ensure that Laird can't break into the penalty area, and that is half time, and the home crowd rise to acclaim their team. Swansea leading Cardiff here by a 1-0 thanks to Jamie Patterson. A flurry of chances for the home team midway through the half. Joel Pirro's shot was blocked by Alex Smithies, but the ball was very quickly played back into the penalty area by Swansea. Patterson was given the space 20 yards out, and he fired the ball in off both posts, and Swansea had the lead. Before that, Ryan Giles with a great chance for Cardiff to give them the lead, played in by Kiefer Moore, clean through, but he rather delayed the chance, and Ben Hamer was able to make the save. And Chris Owellamo, overall Swansea probably deserved to be ahead. Second half is underway. Cardiff City in all blue, playing from right to left towards their supporters, and they're quickly on the attack on this near side, but Smith comes back to win it back, but a deflection from Moore will interest Rawls on the edge of the area. Bennett unable to allow the ball to run out of play. Brown is forward on this near side, but it's very quickly cleared up towards the halfway line. Pirro jabs it down the line looking for Smith, but Morrison will tidy up and play it back towards Smithies. He clears downfield first time. Bakuna thought about the aerial duel with Downs, but then thought better of it. And here is a long ball forward from Nelson down the left-hand side, looking for Bakuna, and it will drift out of play, and it will be a Swansea throw-in by the corner flag on this near side there right. So the Swansea team again, Hamer in goal, Manning, Norton, Bennett and Laird, effectively a back 4 at times. Bidwell, Grimes, Downs in midfield with Smith, Patterson and Pirro in attack. The Cardiff team, Smithies in goal, very much a back 5 central defenders, McGuinness, Flint, Morrison, Nelson and Brown. Pack and Rawls ahead of them with Giles and Bakuna supporting Moore, or at times not supporting Moore. Throw in for Cardiff on the far side, and McGuinness just shoves Bidwell away from the ball. It's a long one played forward on the far side, eventually controlled by Bidwell, and McGuinness comes very tight to him, and the final touch was off the Swansea man, and it will be a throw-in to Cardiff on the far side. We have a wonderful view here from the back of the main stand at the Swansea.com stadium, bang on the halfway line, not too high up, and on what is a very good playing surface. Across his work did, looking for Kiefer Moore. His boot was raised, Manning stooped in, and it will be a free kick. And then Corey Smith has gone down off the ball, clutching his face on the edge of the area.
Yeah, well, he's put his head on that. I think he's just took a sore one there. You see by Kiefer Moore's body language that he is very frustrated. I've got to say, the service coming in, it's just, it has to beat that first man. It's made very easy there for Norton to kind of nullify the threat of Moore with the quality of the ball from Giles. But even then, there was a throw in from McGuinness to Pack, and it's just a blind, hopeful ball over the top from Pack, where he's got much more quality than that. Giles here 1-on-1. Can he get at his man and get a cross in with quality?
Giles down the right hand side, low in towards Moore, tries to flick the ball on at the near post. It deflects back to him inside the area, and it will be cleared away eventually. Patterson quickly closed down by Rawls, fouled by Rawls, and it will be a free kick to Swansea. And I think Patterson lost his boot there in that challenge as well.
Yeah, it was a strong challenge here from Rawls. I have to say, Kiefer Moore, that was a good ball. Giles done ever so well, got it across. He's ahead of the ball, so he's just trying to do the little flick with his back foot to kind of steer it goalwards. It didn't come off, but kept control of the ball. Then it got a little bit scrappy. You just got to try and release it a little bit earlier, because like you say, Bakuna was there around about the penalty spot. If he's set, he can get a shot away. So as I say, he's just got to understand that he's not getting it all his own way, but all it takes is one moment of quality that he's got to be there. So keep your temperament, Kiefer Moore. You can see by his body language that the confidence is down. Obviously only one goal this season as well, but the service, he is feeding off scraps, but he has to be ready for when that one bit of quality comes his way.
Giles trying his luck on the right hand side at the start of the second half for Cardiff, but Norton quickly wins it back, finds Grimes, transferred to the left, and now Patterson on the halfway line, with Swansea leading here by a 1-0, 3 minutes into the second half. On TalkSport 2, NFL action still to come, and the FA Cup first round draw will be taking place in a few minutes as well, so TalkSport.com will have all of the ties, so you can pick out your team, the first round over the first weekend in November. Now Bennett on this near side, swept towards the penalty area. Morrison gets there before Pirro, who's only had one chance in the game really, Joel Pirro, but he's the sort of player that you can't really leave alone.
No, you can't. You have to be switched on. You can think about with the possession, he doesn't really get that many touches because it's all done at the defensive and middle thirds for Swansea, but I just feel that, you know, whoever they're playing against, they have to work very hard to get hold of the ball, and then that's when the likes of Pirro can find those little holes in behind, but he's switched on. He works hard for the team, but he has to keep his patience.
Now Moore on this near side does well to bring the ball down, but again he is heavily outnumbered whenever he turns, and there's almost a shrug of the shoulders there from Kiefer Moore, and then Bakuna goes down. Claims he was fouled by Downs. I'm not sure he was. Downs will clear downfield, but it's only as far as Rawls. Rawls crunches into the challenge with Smith. Smith, though, then wins it back from Brown, and here is Laird coming forward for Swansea. Back towards Grimes again. Pirro was the furthest player forward, looking for the early ball over the top, and now there is an overload for Swansea down the left-hand side. It is Patterson. He's got Bidwell on his outside, screaming for the ball. He delivers the cross in, which is deflected behind off McGuinness, and it will be a corner.
Yeah, it's much better there, you know. Corey Smith, Matt Grimes, the ball goes out, and I have to say, to Jimmy Patterson, and he drives, he's so direct. He made up 20, 25, 30 yards there, then the way to pass to Bidwell, and like I say, everything's with speed of thought, even the short corner now.
Played short again, and it's fired towards goal, and just over the top from Ryan Manning.
Like you say, I just think that Cardiff there, as soon as the corner's taken quickly, they have to get men out to it. It comes to Manning there, and there's no one near him. He can actually take a touch and bring it into the 18-yard box himself. He struck it well. He obviously has the confidence, has that in his artillery there, but it doesn't really trouble Alex Smithies at all.
And it says so much about the way these two sides play that so far Cardiff have had 25% of the possession, but they've had 6 shots to 3 and more shots on target as well.
It shows you, doesn't it? You know, that possession game, it doesn't if it's possession and you're creating chances off the back of it, then I completely understand, but having so much of the ball but less shots in the opposition, but like you say, they are 1-0 in front.
Matt Grimes is just on his haunches inside the centre circle, looking to do up his bootlaces, I think. And Swansea with 4 0-0 draws already this season. Of course, that won't be the situation here today following Jamie Patterson's strike in the first half, but there is a break in play. A reminder on Tuesday on TalkSport 2, Club Brugge against Manchester City at 5:45, followed by Stoke against Bournemouth, the leaders in the Championship. Over on TalkSport, Atletico Madrid against Liverpool. Then on Wednesday, 3:30 start, Spartak Moscow against Leicester. On TalkSport 2, Swansea against West Brom will be our commentary game in the evening, with Around the Grounds with Adrian Durham starting on TalkSport 2 at 6 and then switching to TalkSport at 7 o'clock. And we've got a double header from the European action on Thursday as well in the conference. Vitesse against Spurs at 5:45 in the Europa League. Rangers against Brøndby, live from Ibrox at 8 o'clock. Rawls with a long ball played forward again, flicked on towards Moore inside the area, and it's brought down, and the shot is deflected over the top. It was Aidan Flint on the angle who fired the ball in, and Swansea found themselves under pressure there. Flynn with the final touch, and it's a corner.
Well, it's a direct ball in at an angle. It's kept alive. I'm just surprised Kiefer Moore doesn't get a shot away. He takes the touch, and it's just bounced. You know what? Aidan Flint gets in his way. if Aidan Flint's not there, he's at a better angle to get a shot away there. Then Aidan Flint actually then turns and gets a good shot. The block takes it over the bar, but keeper Moore's way there and let him get a shot away at goal.
That 6-yard area is very congested. Flighted in by Giles towards the near post, and Nelson with the header over the top should have scored.
Yeah, he has to. He's watching the ball all the way. He's timed it perfectly. All the pace is on the ball, but he generates the power with his neck, and if it's on target, the keeper's getting nowhere near it. But all that needed was the accuracy of the header, and he's free. It's a free header. He's 3 yards from goal there. He doesn't need to generate that power himself there, Nigel, and that's why the accuracies went away. He knows he's disappointed with himself there. Massive chance.
Well, Cardiff have scored the most headed goals in the Championship so far this season, and there should have been another one there. 1-0 to Swansea, 54 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Manning coming forward now on this near side. Smith takes over, has support from Laird, and now Manning again in towards Laird. It's intricate play, but on this occasion just a bit too intricate, as the ball back towards Laird doesn't find him, and Brown will shepherd the ball behind for a goal kick. Mick McCarthy was deep in conversation with Terry Connor, his assistant, and Russell Martin standing there, arms folded. And he may be slightly concerned because Cardiff are gradually working their way back into this game, and of course it is only 1-0, and Swansea have not really looked like scoring a second so far.
No, they haven't. What I will say is that as soon as the ball goes to keeper Moore, you've got Bacuna and Giles already gambling in behind, and that was a must. That was needed in the first half, especially when they were on top, but it was very much isolated, and because he's mobile for a big man, he was keeping it alive. But again, better, the quality up to him. He's winning those balls as he was in the first half, but now he's got people gambling in behind him.
Jake Bidwell is down on the far side.
It's a sore one. I'm looking on the monitor here. Jake Bidwell, he's already grounded on his knee. Marlon Pax came back, and he's just Marlon Pax tried to reach back with the right foot, but it's caught Bidwell right on the right knee as it's already bent. That can be a sore one. I don't think it's intentional, but it's just a genuine attempt for the ball, but he has took a sore one there, Bidwell.
And it will be a throw-in for Swansea, midway inside the Cardiff half on the far side. 56 minutes played. Swansea 1, Cardiff 0. On TalkSport 2, the home of the EFL. And a good ball played wide by Patterson towards Manning, who can drive forward and possibly think about the shot, but it's wide towards Laird. Laird now can attack the penalty area. Left foot shot from him, low towards the near post. And Smithies did well to readjust and make the save.
Oh, it's fantastic. As soon as Ethan Laird receives the ball there, he's only got one thing in mind. Can he get that angle to create the shot? Takes it back onto his left, and like you say, he goes for the near post, but Smithies was comfortable. They are good hands, kept it in, and he started the attack, but I'll tell you what, he's taken a few chances there.
Smithies swaying away from the challenge of Corey Smith, putting himself under pressure, but then as he clears downfield, it is straight out of play for a throw-in for Swansea, right in front of Mick McCarthy. He's also arms folded, wearing all black. This team are heading for 6 successive defeats. But there is still time in this game, with only 57 minutes played in the second half. Now Brown, almost got him rules his way, but Flint will boom a long ball over the top for Cardiff, looking for Kiefer Moore, and it's cleared away by Manning. Long downfield, Morrison judging the bounce of the ball, heads the ball up towards the halfway line as the autumnal sunshine breaks out again here at the Swansea.com stadium. Patterson on the far side, had support from Bidwell, but instead comes across to the right, and Bennett, who is increasingly a spare man as a central defender, he goes for goal, right-footed, and it was moving all over the place, and Alex Smithies has to turn it behind for a corner.
Well, like you say, it's a great pass from Jamie Patterson to Ryan Bennett, and like you say, he's got the full half to run into there. He's driving, no one commits, no one goes, he lets one go, and like you say, he's hit it very, very well. Ball's always moving. Smithies got a good hand to knock it wide round the post for a corner. But again, look, short corner. There's 3 against 2. That's poor.
Patterson scoops it into the area and it's cleared away, and then Flint will just hammer it downfield up towards the halfway line. And Swansea not really making the most of their set pieces when they have them. But Ryan Bennett would have been an extremely rare goal scorer. It would have been his first goal for Swansea, and what a time to score it.
Been guilty of overplaying Swansea even in that attacking third. Took the short corner, had a 3v2 overload there, but Patterson just tries to flick it over. And I just feel that, like you say, you've mentioned about the patience of Piru already. You want the ball coming in, you want to go and attack balls. You know, if there's opportunity 3v2, the ball has to be coming in.
Well, he scored 6 times already, Joel Pirro.
Yeah.
Of course, had a very good upbringing in terms of technical football at PSV Eindhoven. But at the moment, he knows he's got the pace to beat both Flint and Morrison, but he's barely seeing the ball. But he lays it off to Patterson now. It's scooped back into the area. Here is Pirro. Lovely finish. Dinks the ball over the goalkeeper. And Swansea lead by 2 goals to 0. And that could be enough to win the South Wales derby. And this could be 6 successive defeats for Cardiff. And the pressure builds up even more on the head of Mick McCarthy.
Fantastic movement, I've got to say. Great little reverse pass from Patterson as well. We'll just talk about Peru as well there. He's just playing on the shoulder. He's online, he's watching right across. Great first touch. It's a great first touch.
He's offside though.
No, he's not. He's onside. Great first touch. And then you know what, the finish in itself was just because, you know, little dink over Smithies there. It's this little reverse pass from Patterson. Wow. Great first touch. Peru knew exactly what the goal was. Knows exactly that Smithies is coming out. He executed it with a little dink over him there. Outstanding finish. What a bit of quality that is.
No, my apologies. It was Kieran Brown on the near side who was playing them all on.
And that again, Kieran Brown, you look across the line, you make sure that you're in line with the other 4. You know, he's 4 or 5 yards deeper. Peru sees that, he's onside, but the pass itself from Jamie Patterson, wow. Little reverse, bit of quality. The first touch, the finish, what a goal that was.
2-0. And this could be the sort of day to reinvigorate Swansea's season. But what will it do for Cardiff City? Mick McCarthy did say before this game, and look, he's old enough and ugly enough to know how the game is played. He said he's only had support from the owners, but he fully understands if you lose games, you eventually lose your job. And Cardiff are losing games.
Yeah, they are. You know, it's a game again that the second half they came out, they're probably against the run of play again, but it just shows you the quality that Swansea have. You have to defend, you have to make sure that every individual error they've been punished. You know, obviously you're looking at Kieran Brown keeping Pirlo onside. That can't happen. You have to be switched on, you have to be concentrated. So now, like you say, it's this feeling that they felt for the last 5 games, Cardiff, that the defeat, they're losing, they're behind, things aren't going their way, they have to fight. One moment in quality can just change this match, so at the minute they have to fight for everything and make sure they put as much pressure on Swansea as they can.
Well, they could be under pressure again here. It is Patterson, poked in field towards Smith. A nutmeg inside the area. Corey Smith could go all the way. Now, was he fouled? A corner kick is given. Swansea are adamant it should be a penalty.
Well, I'm watching the referee there, and he was going to give the penalty there. He wasn't sure. He was going to point to the spot. He's had a little look. He's changed the neck angle. I'm looking at it on the monitor now. Great little bit of skill from Corey Smith. He gets in. Nah, he's got the ball. I'll tell you what, how the referee's seen that, because he's unsighted. But I have to say, who's come in with the challenge here? I think it could be Morrison, is it? No, it's not. It's McGuinness that's come in. He's got the ball first. It's not a penalty kick there, but fantastic refereeing, because he's on the other side. He can't see that, but I thought he was going to give the penalty at the first instance.
But it's a corner for Swansea on the far side, leading here by 2 goals to 0 on TalkSport 2 with 62 minutes played. And Patterson, who has scored 1 and made 1, will take the corner. And it's short all the way back towards Manning, and then clipped further wide towards Grimes. Grimes with a driven ball in, and Smith with a glancing header 6 yards out, and it's wide.
Well, it has to be a goal. Corey Smith, he's found himself in there. He's onside. You know what? In fact, I think he's going to be offside here. Yes, even if he had that, put it in the back of the net, he's about a foot offside there. I've got to say Nelson stepped up just at the right moment in time. But again, it's just he should be hitting the back of the net. Good ball in there from Manning.
Goal kick, which Alex Smithies will take. And it's quickly cleared away, and Patterson will try and keep the ball in on the far side, that it will be a throw-in. And Mick McCarthy must be looking at his bench now and thinking, what can I do? Colwell maybe, some subtlety, another striker, Mark Harris possibly.
No, you're spot on. I think when you're playing so well, look, here they go again. You know what, Giles, just put the ball in the box. He's got by his man, he does have to beat him again. Corner.
Now a corner kick has been won on the far side, but the Cardiff supporters barely have the energy to appreciate that, because this is turning into another very gloomy afternoon in a season of gloomy afternoons for Cardiff City.
Well, a goal changes that, Nigel. You've got to kind of keep believing positive.
Giles with the corner. It's been missed by the goalkeeper, but a free kick has been given for pushing inside the 6-yard area.
Well, I don't think there's a lot in it. I'm going to have a look again on the monitor. Ben Hamer's came out, wrong decision, came out, he got nowhere near the ball. I don't know if it's a foul on him, if he's obstructed. I think it might have been in Pro, the foul, but again we'll have another little look at it there, but I never really seen much.
Well, we're watching on our monitor the goal from Pirot, and it's just the subtlety that he provided to dink the ball away from the goalkeeper. You don't usually get that sort of subtlety in a game like this.
Well, the movement for one, Nigel, and then obviously the pass from Patterson, the way that Pro took it on his chest, knew exactly where the goal was. Like you say, Smithies had committed, came out, and to have the quality just to kind of lift it over him the way that he did, he made it look easy. What a fantastic finish. And like you say, they are using the ball, but like you say, if Cardiff go a little bit direct and just create something, that attacking third, that little bit, that final pass, that final bit of quality, the movement, a goal puts that pressure back on Swansea, especially here at the Swansea.com stadium.
Will be on shortly. In the meantime, there is treatment for Leandro Bacuna. 66 minutes played here at the Swansea.com stadium. Swansea 2, Cardiff 0. We have live NFL action coming up from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Dolphins against the Jaguars. Another local derby of sorts following this game. The Swansea change is Corey Smith making way for Olivier Uncham, the former Celtic player who is coming back from an injury. Don't forget, Tuesday night, 5:45 on TalkSport 2, Club Brugge against Manchester City with Ian Danter and Danny Mills. Stoke against Bournemouth, Chris will be alongside Joe Shannon for that game in the Championship, and Atletico Madrid against Liverpool over on TalkSport with Sam Matterface, Adrian Durham and Andy Townsend. Here is the change. It's another striker, James Collins, former Luton man, coming on for Cardiff, and he is replacing Leandro Bacuna.
Yeah, you know what, another striker that scores goals at this level. So again, it's all about the service. Keeper Moore's got that man beside him, throwing everything at it. They're going to be direct anyway, but look, I think just for as expansive as Bidwell and Laird is, it's just pushing the Cardiff back five very much deep. They have to be brave and push forward and give the front two the support they need.
But Cardiff do have a difficult run of games coming as it's played over the top by Marlon Pack, way beyond Kiefer Moore. And that will be another opportunity for Swansea to build from the back. There's just a lack of cohesion about this Cardiff team, maybe a lack of confidence.
Well, it's quality, isn't it? I think Marlon Pack knows exactly what he wants to do, and if you ask him to do that, he get it right 9 out of 10. But with this pressure, what's on the match, he's just, like you say, it has to count. Kiefer Moore's making the perfect run. He's got the full half to run into. Just the way to pass has to be right. Again, Kiefer Moore makes the ball stick, lays it off. for Rolls. Has to do better there.
Collins runs it out of play. Following this game, Cardiff are away to Fulham on Wednesday, at home to Middlesbrough, away to Stoke, at home to Queen's Park Rangers. This could get far worse before it gets better.
You know what, you have to dig in deep. If you lose this match and it's 6 successive defeats, it's just go back to basics. Make sure that you don't lose the next match and then try and build on that. But like you say, confidence. This will hurt the players. They'll be hurting now, but they have to try everything. No, there's still a chance to get something out of this match. You just have to believe in the way that they play.
Now Bennett coming forward, infield towards Uncham. Very quickly on to Pirro. Patterson, it's football which is very attractive on the eye from Swansea, now leading by 2-0. The break into the penalty area from Manning. Looks to win another corner, and he does.
Fantastic play from Manning, isn't it? You know, close control in the box, just invites that challenge, and then, like you say, you can see the frustration. Look at the body language of the Cardiff players now. It's so important. They've got to make sure. I know they're 2-0 down. It's a derby, but you have to dig deep now. Just make sure that they go. They do not concede again. Go, put the head where it hurts, the body where it hurts, the blocks, and then just moments of quality. Make those right decisions. Every corner's a short corner, and it's still 3 against 2 overload here.
And the corner's worked short to Grimes on the left corner of the penalty area.
Doesn't come in, Nigel. Doesn't come in.
But here is Patterson, back wide towards Manning, and in the end it breaks down for Swansea, but they have either a throw-in or a free kick on the far side as we enter the final 20 minutes on TalkSport 2. The Dolphins against the Jaguars coming up at 2 o'clock. As the Cardiff fans, some of them begin to make their way out of the stadium very early. As the ball is crossed low into the penalty area from the far side by Manning, and it's straight out of play for a throw-in to Swansea again. But the Cardiff fans who come here, it's what's called a bubble game. They have to go to the Cardiff City Stadium, they're given their ticket, then they have to get a bus here, and they are then bussed back to the Cardiff City Stadium following the game. So even if they can't bear to watch this, they're not going anywhere until the end of this game. And there are some cases where there are opposition supporters who live in the other town who then have to... There's a guy I spoke to once who lived a mile away from the Cardiff City Stadium. He was a Swansea fan. He had to come to Swansea, get on a bus, be driven past his house. As the break is made into the penalty area now for Swansea. Uncham, and it's blocked by the legs of Smithies. And now Patterson on the far side has support from Uncham again.
A strong play from Bidwell there, isn't it? You know, he's got round his man. I've got to say McGuinness has got to do better, but he's in the box there, he's driving. The way to pass to Uncham was excellent. He's done everything right. He's good contact, strong shot. Smithies saves with the legs.
Here is Giles, who cuts in field from the left-hand side and tries an audacious curling shot, which is some way over the top.
You know, with the amount of bodies in the box there, I understand why Giles wants to try and affect the match, but he's done ever so well to get away from Patterson there. Comes onto his left, and he's just floating across with a little bit of pace on it. You know, if it's towards Ben Hamer's back post area, with the 3 Cardiff players coming across the line of the ball, it causes all sorts of problems there. But that one was high and wide, and you know, it's let Swansea off.
18 minutes to play. Swansea 2, Cardiff 0. Here on TalkSport 2 in bright sunshine now at the Swansea.com stadium. It's cleared downfield by Ben Hamer again, and he has had very little to do in the second half. But now Kiefer Moore looking to take on Downs, and they both go down, looking to have each other in a headlock inside the area. Kiefer Moore was convinced it should have been a penalty. Nothing is given. Now at the other end, there was an opportunity for Laird to break forward, and he's done well to keep the ball in play on the byline. Slipped through towards Patterson, clips it over the goalkeeper. It's free. Headed in at the far post by Jake Bidwell, and Swansea City lead Cardiff by 3-0. This has been a day they've been waiting for many, many years. But it's an afternoon to forget for Cardiff City. 6 successive victories. Mick McCarthy said before this game, if you keep losing, the sack could be imminent. Well, Cardiff City keep losing.
Another assist from Jamie Patterson. Great little bit of quality, I've got to say. Ethan Laird keeping that ball alive. Just broke his neck to get there. Morrison with the challenge, it's going out. Laird keeps it in. The way to pass to Patterson, it's in the 6-yard box. Only Smithies to beat, just lifts it over him. And to be fair, Jake Bidwell, probably one of the easiest goals that he's ever scored. But it was fantastic awareness from Patterson. Great way to pass from Laird. Just look at this one on the monitor, just lifts it over. Wow. So he's basically headed it on the goal line, Jake Bidwell there. And like you say, it was, again, warranted. It was deserved. Good little bit of play, direct play as well, not even playing through the thirds. And like you say, when you've got willing runners with a little bit of quality, pace, that awareness, Ethan Laird, and obviously the quality of Patterson. Scored one, created two, outstanding.
First goal in a year for Jake Bidwell. 3-0 to Swansea. And Cardiff here look a bit of a shambles, but they almost get a goal back inside the area. It was a header towards goal from Collins after Hamer missed his punch, but it drifts wide.
Again, just not alive to it, isn't it? You know, I think Ben Hamer comes out, misses it. Collins just gets there before him. I thought it was going in, and it was Downs. It was trying to kind of clear it, but that's when you just got to be alive to it. And like you say, Keeper Moore, if he is alive to it, he's getting an easy tap in there to an empty goal. So again, reactive rather than anticipating that little flick from Collins there.
But the Cardiff fans are stood there in the sunshine behind that goal. Their team are trailing by 3 goals to 0. They have offered so little in an attacking sense in this game, and they have been picked off. Some of the goals, Swansea have almost walked the ball into that, and that will hurt.
Yeah, not will. You know, I think at times you would say that Swansea have overplayed, especially in that attacking third, but you can't take anything away from the quality of all 3 goals. You know, the Jamie Patterson strike from distance, which was so powerful and accurate, and then the little reverse pass from Patterson to Perot, who again, great first touch and the little dink over Smithies as he's came out, and then again the work ethic of Laird to keep that ball in, find Patterson in the 6-yard box, who I thought, just go for goal yourself there, but again, very aware that Bidwell had made that run and just basically gave him a header from the goal line, one of the easiest goals that he'll ever score, and how much it would have meant to him as well. But the goals have been outstanding.
Clipped forward by Brown into the penalty area, and some of those Cardiff fans behind that goal are very, very unhappy with their team. Ruben Colwill is about to come on, but the match may already have been lost. And here is Pirro, almost clean through down the centre, but the ball striking him on the heel, but he's still got time to recover possession. And Swansea here playing with a real swagger. And Cham and Grimes popping the ball around with an arrogance which will really annoy Cardiff City, but Swansea City have earned the right to play like this. Now led, clipped down the line for Patterson. Patterson now tries to break into the area. He's challenged by Flint, and it will be a throw-in to Swansea. Leading here by 3 goals to 0. Everything has gone wrong for Cardiff today, and they've got some big games coming up, not least a match against Fulham in the midweek, and Fulham of course won their local derby comfortably in the end against Queen's Park Rangers yesterday.
There's no easy matches in the Championship, Nigel, no matter where.
Well, there are no easy matches when you don't really give yourselves a chance to win them.
Yeah, well, you take your chances. You know, Giles puts that in the back of the net, that early one, then it puts more pressure on Swansea to play, and it's just one of them. If you don't take your chances, then you're making that job getting 3 points a lot harder.
Swansea lead 3-0. Brown all the way back towards Nelson on the halfway line. Ben Cabango is also coming on central defender for Swansea for the closing moments. Brown chipped over the top, looking for more and more. Turns around and shows his frustration with the service he's received all day. And it's back towards Ben Hamer. And I have to say, I thought there would be very few goals in this game today. Two sides who may cancel each other out, but if Swansea play like this, they won't be in the bottom half of the table for too long.
Well, and that's what I guess Russell Martin is saying. He have belief in the way that he's trying to play. You know, I think that they have been. Ben Hamer made that big save, and they do, I guess, give the opposition a few chances in behind. They have struggled to score as of late, but you can't take anything away from the 3 goals today. I think very well worked. Some of the play that you've seen has been excellent, you know, but you're always going to have your critiques, you know, and again, trying to overplay in the attacking area, trying to overplay in the defensive area up against better position who are in a little bit better form. It could be a very different game, but enjoy it. You know, 3-0 up there. What is it? How long to go? 10, 11 minutes to go. Enjoy it. You know, the fans will be delighted with what they're seeing. A lot will buy into Russell Martin and his beliefs and his philosophy. So it's about making this the starting point, the catalyst to go on and achieve something.
Well, Swansea won the Premier League meeting here between these two sides by 3-0 back in 2014. And there have not been too many big wins on either side, as Ryan Bennett will be replaced by Ben Cabango. There was also a 4-1 success for Swansea back in the mid-90s, when both sides were crawling around in the lower reaches of the 3rd and 4th divisions. As Cabango comes on, and it's a straight swap, and we have 10 minutes to play. NFL action coming up at the end of this game, and don't forget, we'll have all of the fallout from this game and every other big story across the EFL with Dan Windle in the EFL show on TalkSport 2 at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And as Cardiff push forward here, they look more and more vulnerable on the counter-attack. Here is Collins, but he's lost out. Lawton with a switcher play from left to right to find Laird, who brings the ball down on his chest, and he's in behind the cover into the area. Laird with a shot, and streaking across to make the challenge was Flint, and at times Aidan Flint must feel he's playing Swansea on his own.
Yeah, you know what, it's a fantastic defensive challenge. I've got to say, as soon as Ethan Laird gets the ball there, he's great first touch, he's got the full half to run into. Flint realises the danger very, very early, gets across, and what a timely challenge that is, because you know what, there's another question going to be asked there of Alex Smithies. I've got to say, Ethan Laird for me has been outstanding today. You know, I think every time he gets it, he's direct. The quality of pass, the weight of pass, you know, running behind, the quality from wide areas, you know, he's ticked all boxes for me.
Grimes on towards Patterson, and the ball down the line is cut out by Nelson. And we have 8 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Swansea leading by 3-0 in bright sunshine now. Pirro, who scored the second, to really calm any nerves among the home supporters. And the third from almost on the goal line from Jake Bidwell. Flint rising to head the ball away. Moore knew he was offside, and Collins will try and win it back. He goes down, a sprawling challenge as Cabango tries to win it back. No free kick given. And here is Hamer once again. Could be a very big week at Cardiff City. Big game coming up, of course, when they travel to Fulham. Bullhawks will be on shortly, and they'll be heading to a side full of goals. The top scorers in the Championship on the back of 6 successive defeats, as Laird is offside as he makes the move infield beyond Nelson into the penalty area. Nelson doesn't appreciate the fact that Laird goes beyond him. He then kicks out at him. Laird comes back, gets back to his feet and tries to shove Nelson to the ground. And once again, the referee, James Linnington, will just have to sort out some nonsense.
Yeah, again, I think it's just a talking to here. You know, for me, I was surprised that Laird was offside. You know, I thought he was still coming round Brown there, but the linesman's only a couple of metres away. It was a great weight of pass from Cham, but like you say, fantastic refereeing again. Nelson and Laird coming together, handbags, but he's officially, well, you're looking on the monitor here now, is he offside?
No,
he's not, is he?
No.
What's the light?
He's right in front of the assistant.
Right in front of the assistant. Yeah. But I understand because he sees Laird first, but he's not offside there.
Paul Vauxhall, the Welsh international, comes on to replace Joe Rawls for Cardiff, and Liam Cullen will replace Joel Pirot, and he gets a standing ovation from the home fans inside the Swansea.com stadium. And it was a quality finish from the Dutchman. And Liam Cullen, the Welsh under-21 international, will come on to replace him for the closing stages.
So worth it for Perot, your goal, your touches, these kind of games. You can see that sometimes the frustration, he doesn't get a lot of touches, Nigel, does he, with the way that Swansea plays. But
well, Keeper Moore is flagged offside as he came back to receive the ball, and his shot in the end is wide. Keeper Moore's seen much more of the ball today than he did for Wales in either of the international games. But even with the sporadic service he's had from his Cardiff City teammates, he's not really had the opportunity. They will look back on that chance for Ryan Giles when it was 0-0. Had that gone in, we could have had a very different story. But now Cullen on the move for Swansea down the left, quickly forward into the penalty area, and Manning goes down as he was challenged by Flint, and I think Flint won the ball. The referee agrees it's a corner.
Yeah, strong challenge again from Flint. I think fantastic play from Cullen and Manning there, linking up well. Flint just gets there first. If anything, it's probably a free kick to Cardiff, but corner is given. It's nice when you're 3-0 up, 5 minutes to go, Nigel. It's a fantastic feeling. You can enjoy the match, you can relax a little bit, but they have played some fantastic football today, and they've punished Cardiff every time they've switched off. That lack of concentration, Swansea have punished them.
Ryan Manning threads it back out wide from the short corner towards Patterson. They have not played a single corner into the penalty area, Swansea. Every one of them has been worked short, but they still have possession here. Downs wide towards Laird. Laird comes in field, has Downs in support, but uses him as the decoy. Eventually he's challenged, loses the ball. It's cleared away by McGuinness, but quickly won back on the far side by Manning. Clipped into the path of Uncham, and Laird is still down on the edge of the penalty area following the earlier challenge, and James Livingston will stop play.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look at this one. He's holding his face. I think maybe there's after he's went down, I don't think there was much in it. He has worked his socks off today, Nigel. Ethan Laird. Aidan Flint just standing over him now, so I'm not sure if there has been maybe a little bit of contact, but he is holding his face and not moving at the minute. Here we go now on the monitor. So he's got away from his man. It's Nelson.
Might have been a trailing arm from Vauxhall, but it was entirely accidental.
Yeah, there's no intent there whatsoever, is there?
But the Cardiff players have stood there, many of them on their own, hands on hips. This has been an afternoon which will not be remembered by them. And their fans are still in the stadium, and that's only because they can't leave. As Laird receives some treatment, we'll be off to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the end of this game for NFL action between the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Club Brugge against Manchester City, 5:45 on Tuesday. Stoke against Bournemouth. We'll also be on TalkSport 2 at 7:45. Atletico Madrid against Liverpool at 8 over on TalkSport. And Stoke Bournemouth should be a decent game, shouldn't it?
Yeah, yes it will. I think Stoke City will be very disappointed. Yesterday Sheffield United, so they've got to react. What I will say, at the Bet365, the West Brom team could have went top of the table. They were outstanding, so they're really giving the fans something to shout about. And obviously Bournemouth, they at the minute they're flying, aren't they? Under Scott Parker, playing some fantastic football. But I think Ryan Christie's come in there and really delivered, creates for others and gets on the ball. Fantastic footballer, but they've got that quality in abundance. So this is going to be one hell of a match Tuesday.
Live on TalkSport 2, and we also have Championship action coming up on Wednesday as well. We'll be back here for Swansea against West Brom, and that will be another clash of styles on the evidence of what we saw on Friday night at the Hawthorns. And Spartak Moscow against Leicester from the Europa League on Wednesday at 3:30. Early kick-off in Eastern Europe. Leicester have made a slow start in the Europa League, but they had the ideal preparation for that game with their performance and result yesterday against Manchester United. 30 seconds of normal time to play. 3-0 to Swansea. And the home fans basking in the sunshine and basking in the glory of a big win over their local rivals. And Cardiff heading into a difficult run of games on the back of 6 successive defeats. And their fans are silent away to our left-hand side. And there will be a minimum of 3 added minutes. A cross in towards the far post, looking for Laird, who leaps above Nelson, but the ball skims off the top of his head, and it's cleared away. And it will be a throw into Cardiff on this near side, but they know the game has gone, and it went some time ago. Nelson will take the throw in. Collins will leap with Cabango, but it's won by Laird. Swansea still believe there could be another goal in this game.
What's he doing? Cabango's come over the keeper Moore with
his arm, yeah. And then Volks catching Laird, and it will be a free kick to Swansea and a yellow card for Will Volks.
Yeah, you know what? It was a free kick. I'm looking down at Mick McCarthy now. He's having a chat with the fourth official. Cabango, again, he'll be frustrated as well that he's not started this match. Ryan Bennett's come in, he's come on. To be fair, he's done well when he's come on, but he's come through the back of keeper Moore there with the strong arm. It's a free kick in my opinion, but it wasn't given.
And we welcome listeners from TalkSport to the Swansea.com stadium. We are in added time in the South Wales derby. Swansea leading Cardiff by 3 goals to 0. Jamie Patterson in the first half, Joel Pirro and Jake Bidwell in the second. Cardiff heading for 6 successive defeats, and that pressure is building even more on Mick McCarthy, their manager. But this has been a terrific day for the Swansea coach, Russell Martin. His team have outplayed Cardiff in all departments. They've dominated possession, and crucially today, Chris, they've delivered goals.
3 fantastic goals. Jamie Patterson, 27-30 yards, the way that he strikes it, the accuracy in off both posts. Alex Smithy's out completely at full stretch, nowhere near. And then Jamie Patterson, great little bit of quality, a little reverse pass to Perot, and again he finds himself in the 18-yard box, 12 yards from goal. Great little chest down, and to lift it over Smithy's the way he did, fantastic finish. And again, the third goal, the work ethic, Ethan Laird keeps it in play. The way to pass to Patterson, who finds himself in the 6-yard box. I'm thinking he can go for goal himself, but just lifts it with quality over Alex Smithies, and it's Jake Bidwell gets his first goal in a year, just heads it on the line. And to be fair, they have played some fantastic football, overplayed at times I will say, but Russell Martin will be absolutely delighted with his team's performance.
Patterson looks to feed the ball infield towards Grimes, and the sun continues to shine brightly here in Swansea, but it is a dark, dark day for Cardiff City. But it's all over. Swansea win the South Wales derby in comprehensive fashion by 3 goals to 0. They dominated the game almost right from the very start, and for Cardiff City it is 6 successive defeats. Mick McCarthy stands there, arms folded. He knows it could be a very difficult week coming up for him. Full time, Swansea City 3, Cardiff City 0.